Hello, thanks so much for tuning in to our November 2019 newsletter. It's fall's now in full swing, and we all hope you've had a chance to enjoy this good, cooler weather like we have. The fall here in the Lowcountry offers so many great things. Our local establishments offer some really nice festivals and outdoor activities to enjoy with your family and your friends. So if you're like me, I hope you've had some time to get out and enjoy those times. Another way, I always love talking about landscapes here in the Lowcountry, but a lot of people, especially if you're used to seeing good fall color in a lot of your deciduous trees, you may be initially disappointed here if you haven't been here in the Lowcountry for too long. So one thing that I always like to point people to is we've got these great maritime forests here. Maritime forest typically have a lot of evergreen trees. Our live oak here is one of the native species here, and of course you're not going to see any fall color out of that. The forests are filled with palms and ferns and other greenery that just doesn't change in this time of year. So you've got the occasional small tree that would give you some fall color, but by and large you don't see those big golden, orange, brown hues that you see in other areas where you have true four seasons. So, how is it that we can really enjoy the Lowcountry here, the plants that are here in the Lowcountry? One of the ways that is most obvious around us is the marsh grasses. So look out across your marsh next time you are crossing a causeway or a bridge, and you'll see the beautiful golden hue of the Spartina grass. That's one great reminder of fall, and it's one way that I really enjoy watching the seasons change. Of course, as those begin to decompose, they decompose into the water, and they provide many great nutrients and natural fertilizer into the mud there in the marsh, as well as providing vital cover and protection for many of our species of animals here in the Lowcountry. So pay attention to that. Another way that we can kind of bring that into the landscape here is to enjoy ornamental grasses. Ornamental grasses are usually at their best this time of year. What do I mean by ornamental grass? Well, I mean things like muley grass, pampas grass, even in the right location, miscanthus grass. You've got so many species of those, and what you'll see this time of year is that it's either got a seed head or a flower head on it that is showing off, and boy, it's really, really nice when the sun catches it just right. So those are great planted in mass. If you've got an appropriate spot in your yard, it's a good thing to consider. They often just be a filler and a green mass in your garden and landscape for much of the year, but boy, this time of year in the fall they really show out. So if you're looking for options like that, some way to make your yard and landscape feel a little more Lowcountry like, that's a great option. Let us know. I'm happy to meet with you on site and discuss some of those with you. Another way to enjoy the fall here, we have a really long bloom season. We're likely not going to get our first frost until Thanksgiving, maybe even into December. So a lot of our late season perennials like lantana, salvias, things like that have been going in your garden, you're going to see those bloom all the way up until the frost. So that's a really nice benefit here of living in the Lowcountry, is having a long bloom season. You do, though, need to be prepared if you're looking to plant some seasonal color, some annual seasonal color. Things like pansies and snapdragons actually do better when they're planted earlier here in the fall. So in the fall, typically we have warm weather at night, and then it drops off very cool and drastic here toward the end of November into December. So the window is closing fast. And so I say this today because I want you to think about, if you haven't already, go into your garden centers and stocking up your pots, maybe some annual color beds in your yard with those things like pansies and snapdragons. You'll often find your best selection available right now, at least before Thanksgiving. So I encourage you to get out there and get your stuff planted now. If you need some help with that, we're available to help with that too. Even if you just need a conversation of, Zach, I'm trying to figure out what I need. I want something a little different this year. Let me know. I've got some good ideas, and if you can't find what you need, chances are our growers here locally and even down into Florida can get that for you. A few other things I want to mention that we're talking to our crews about, the typical fall things that we need to be on alert of here in the Lowcountry. Fungus in our grass I said this last year, this is the prime time of year to have fungus. If we get a lot of rain, or particularly if you're adding too much water to your lawn with irrigation, you can expect to see fungus. We can treat for that using a number of methods, but the best way is to just culturally manage your own landscape, manage your irrigation to where you're not overwatering your lawn. We can certainly help with that. If you're not around or you're not sure of how to handle your irrigation clock, let us know. Our teams can adjust that right on site, but you really don't need to be watering more than about 1, maybe 2 days a week right now in most landscapes. Watch out for that. Another thing we're encouraging our teams to look for is treating the plants with horticultural oil, dormant oil, which is basically just mineral oil. We're applying that to our plants right now to get rid of things like scale and white flies and that sooty mold substance that you see on a lot of your leaves here in the shrubs. So those are things that our teams are looking for. You will likely see them mowing less frequently as the grass is just not growing right now. So we're turning our focus to cleaning up, redefining bed edges and bed lines, and making sure the leaves that are falling are picked up and cleaned up. Again, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. Our office can set up a time for myself or Rob to come and meet with you. We really appreciate the opportunity to serve you, and as we approach Thanksgiving, I hope you all have some good plans to spend with friends and family. Thanks so much for tuning in. See you next time.